Hey guys, Slimber here, and we are doing another video on Jayson Veley. Shit, I think the last one I did had to have been either early 2019 or late 2018. And basically in that last one, he was crying about somebody making fun of fucking Trump's press secretary. I can't even fucking... Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that's who it is. And in this one, he's... Oh god, you're gonna see. We'll see right into it, shall we?
Welcome back to the show, folks. I want to tell you about someone who is trying to get into the Biden administration that many of you probably haven't heard of for whatever reason. Maybe you have. I don't know. I hadn't heard about her until today when I was doing show prep. And what I found in my research on this individual is kind of shocking.
Is it really shocking? I mean, I did some fucking research on her just now after, I saw this first part of this video. And what I discovered is she's basically like the typical Biden fucking cabinet member where it's like, yeah, we're super progressive until she gets in office and she's like, no, actually, we're not.
Very concerning, to say the least. Her name is Vanita Gupta. And she is likely going to be Joe Biden's Associate Attorney General. She had her confirmation hearing yesterday. I don't know how many days it's going to go on for, but at least part of it was held yesterday before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Vanita Gupta. Now, in my research on this woman, because again, I hadn't heard about her. I didn't know anything about her. She strikes me as an anti-law enforcement liberal.
I did some research on her as well, and I start to get that your definition of anti-law enforcement is not letting them break people's constitutional rights. Because it looks like she worked for the ACLU, and it looks like she handled like some ICE cases where members of ICE were being extremely, inhumane and pretty shitty to people within the detention centers.
She does. Now, in the hearing, and I'm going to play audio in just a minute here, she has to sound kind of centrist. She has to conduct herself in a way that isn't radical Democrat.
All right, let me just go ahead and say, listen, dude, if she's going to go work for Joe Biden, that essentially means she is a fucking centrist. Now, I haven't seen her... I'm trying to find, politically, maybe some sort of donation or something, and I haven't found anything, too bad. But if she's going to go work for Joe Biden, she's going to be fucking pretty much a moderate right-winger. Her policies are going to be moderate right-wing. She's not a fucking radical leftist, and neither is Joe Biden. Hey, guess what? Us radical leftists fucking hate Joe Biden because he doesn't actually support radical ideals. He supports fucking literally the status quo. He is a fucking establishment politician.
Leftist, but she is. And I'm going to prove that to you here. In the past, let me start with this. In the past, Vanita Gupta has voiced her support for ending qualified immunity for police officers. Now, for those of you who don't know, qualified immunity shields police officers from most lawsuits for alleged wrongdoing.
Cool. I don't see anything wrong with that. The taxpayer shouldn't have to fucking send out fucking money whenever the goddamn police fucking murder somebody just to save their goddamn ass. What's wrong with that? Jason, I thought you were like a Tea Party type of conservative. I thought you were all for cutting spending for programs like that.
Not all lawsuits. Because I could hear the liberals right now. Well, this whole thing, qualified immunity, just, protects officers and there's no accountability whatsoever. No, that's not true. It's not all lawsuits. This isn't saying that there's no accountability in the police force. It's simply saying that police officers are shielded from most lawsuits for alleged wrongdoing.
Well, here's the thing. I'm doing some research into qualified immunity, and it basically only applies to cops that are stupid enough to not plead ignorance to violating somebody's constitutional right. Now, most cops are incredibly stupid, but not that fucking stupid. So, yeah, it basically applies to almost all lawsuits. You guys know that case, like, where the cop shot that kid with the Wii remote and said they thought it was a gun? Or the cop shot that guy with the iPhone and said he thought it was a gun? That's an example of the cops using qualified immunity. They plead ignorance, so they fucking can't get sued. And then the state has to pay for it.
Because otherwise, you could sue police officers for really anything.
Good! I could be sued for literally anything as long as a judge allows it into the court. You could be sued for literally anything as long as a judge allows it into a court. Someone could watch this video right now. They could watch this video right fucking now and say both of us are so fucking ugly that we traumatize their goddamn face and fucking get a lawsuit into a court with the right fucking judge. Literally, anybody else can be sued for any fucking reason. Why are cops immune to this? Fuck them!
And instead of being out in the field, serving their communities, police officers would constantly be tied up in court.
Good one, Jason, good one. Serving their communities, yeah. Oh, you really think they do that? Oh. That's also fucking hilarious.
So that's a brief background of qualified immunity. And in the past, Vanita Gupta has said that she supports ending it, meaning taking away these protections for police officers. Now, she was questioned about this at the hearing yesterday by Senator John Cornyn. And I want to play this audio. Listen to how she dances around the question, which really was pretty straightforward. The question was simply, do you now support ending qualified immunity for police officers? Straightforward question. She wouldn't answer it. Listen to this from yesterday.
Do you support the elimination of qualified immunity for lawsuits against the police?
Senator, I suspect that you're referring to testimony that I gave before this committee over the summer when I was representing the consensus views of the Civil Rights Coalition.
Folks, wasn't it a straightforward question?
Yo, hold on, dude. It looks like she's still fucking talking. I mean, I haven't gotten, like, this far when I went to preview your video to see if I wanted to do anything on it. But, I mean, it looks like she's still talking, so hey, hold on a second before you stop in your high, fucking pitched voice and say, folks, is she avoiding the question? Man's is like 10 years past puberty and his balls still haven't fucking dropped.
He's not referencing anything in the past. He's asking right now, where you sit, do you support ending qualified immunity? But she starts her response by saying, Senator, I'm sure you're referencing this other time when X, Y, and Z. No, right now, do you support ending qualified immunity? What is it with liberals, ladies and gentlemen? Can't they follow a simple question?
Can't you listen to the video before you stop it and then try to make an argument? Like I said, it still sounds like she was still speaking. Also, what is it with conservatives and, wanting fucking police to be able to murder people freely? Oh, I know why. Because they're inherently authoritarian as shit. I guarantee that Jayson Veley, had he been a teenager or an adult in the early 2000s, would have been for the Patriot Act. Just because it was Bush, and also because, it gave the fucking military power. I guarantee he would have been for something that authoritarian like that. And then been against it when Obama had the NSA thing because it was Obama and not because it's authoritarian as shit.
Keep listening.
At the leadership conference. in matters of policy, if I'm confirmed as Associate Attorney General, my guide, and I know this issue and many others around police accountability, the Senate's going to be considering in the Justice and Policing Act, we will follow the president's policy agenda so long as it's consistent with the law. I have been talking a lot to law enforcement the last several months about all kinds of issues around the tension of how to ensure accountability while ensuring that law enforcement can do their jobs. And if I am confirmed as Associate Attorney General, I will continue.
So the answer is no. The answer is a very resounding, very clear no. The answer is I support whatever the president supports, which is not that. And also, if you actually paid attention to, you know, how these type of like neoliberal type of politicians speak, that's always a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. Unless it's like a yes, and even then it could be a no.
Let me stop. She talks like it's, you know, well, it's a balancing act, right? We need 50-50 here. We need to figure out how police officers can still be held accountable while also at the same time making sure that they can do our jobs. If you had to guess, ladies and gentlemen, which side do you think this woman leans more towards?
The American moderate right wing, which is essentially the Democratic Party. I mean, that's typically the answer they give. Well, police, you know, they have a very stressful job. And they should, you know, I mean, they shouldn't be able to just murder anybody freely, but they should be able to murder a few people. Like, that's generally the fucking answer. Whereas people like Jayson Veley, who are on the far right, are like, no, they get to murder whoever they want with no consequences. I don't care if they steal from them. I don't care if they murder them. They get to do it with no consequences. That is like his type of ideology compared to her type of ideology, which is more of the moderate right wing.
Holding police officers accountable or letting them do their jobs? Probably holding them accountable, right?
You're making her sound better than she is, Jason.
You know, what side is she on? Is she on the side that's for not letting cops commit corruption? Or the side that says, let them commit corruption, let them do their job?
Like, that's what you sound like.
Which, in many cases, infringes upon their ability to let them do their jobs.
Ah, yes. Because the last thing we want to do is give police consequences for their actions. You know, I mean, that would only make their job harder if, you know, they had consequences for their actions and not a loophole to go hide behind. Yeah, cops really have it hard when they pull up to the wrong house, kill the wrong person, and then, you know, say, it's not my fault. I thought he had something that looked like a gun to me. Like look at the swatting incident. Now, I'm not saying the fucking swatistic guy, I'm not saying he's innocent, because obviously he's the one that did the swatting. He did half the killing here. Anybody should know, if you call the cops like that, probably bad fucking idea. Somebody might fucking die, because cops are fucking retards. But, you know, it's still that cop's fault for just assuming the guy had a gun when he very clearly didn't have a gun.
I'm just saying, just pointing that out.
And I'm just saying and pointing out that you're a fucking moron who's advocating for authoritarianism right now. Anyways, do I think this woman is probably a good person? Probably not, because she's going into the Biden administration. So essentially, she's not going to be for qualified immunity, more than likely. She's not going to really do much to, you know, stop police brutality. She's not going to do anything to give people health support, giving people health care. Obviously, she wouldn't. She's an AG. But, you know, any progressive type of ideal, trust me, she's not going to support. She's going into the Biden administration. But anyways, what did you guys think? Leave a dislike, call me an asshole, and in the comments. And yeah, Slimber out.